This video will help you find the y-intercept of a line given one of the points that lie on it and given the slope of the line. So if we have an equation and we need to, well, usually what we do is we find equations in slope-intercept form, which looks like this. The y-intercept that we'd be looking for is this quote-unquote b value. So let's start. I just want to let you know that I do have another video that does the same thing, where it's also called finding the y-intercept from a point in a slope, but I'm going to do it in kind of a more traditional algebra teacher sort of way of doing it. This is a method, it's also kind of traditional, but I kind of created a formula for the b value, and a lot of students tend to like that. So here is the formula. It's b equals y minus mx, and it's showing you that you have your x and y of your point and you have your slope, and if you plug each of those into that formula you'll get your b value. So let's just start with one of the problems. Let's say that we are given the point -3, 2, and we know that the slope of the line, say, is -2. Our equation will have the -2 as the m, but we need our b value, and this is what we're looking for. So if we use the equation up above, we're going to need the x, the y, and the m. So this is our point, which is the x and the y, and here is the m, so we're just going to plug them in. If b equals y minus mx, let's copy things over and put things in. B is what we're looking for. The y value above we have labeled as 2. The minus sign comes down. M is -2, and we need to multiply that by our x, which is -3. So if we multiply, doing the order of operations, we need to multiply first. So it's going to be 2 minus, and a -2 times a -3 is a +6. So when we finally do the subtraction here, we have 2 minus 6, which is -4. So if we have our b value now, our equation will be y equals -2x minus 4. And that's all you're doing for that. That is just getting the equation of the line for it. Alright, so let's see what we got here. And let's move up and try another one. So let's say this time we know that the slope is 1/2. And the point that they give us is 6, -4. Again, what I tend to do when I'm first teaching this to somebody, I have everybody have them label the x and the y, and this is already labeled m. And then the math teacher in me says you should write down the formula with no numbers, and then now we're ready to plug numbers in. So the b is what we're looking for. The y value we have labeled up above is -4. Bring down the subtraction sign. Our m is 1/2, and our x value is 6. Again, order of operations says we need to do the multiplication first. So I'm just copying, and here we go. What is 1/2 of 6? That is 3. And you know, you're more than welcome to grab a calculator, at least in my book. You're allowed to just grab a calculator and type that in, and it will give you the answer if the calculator does order of operations. So don't stress out if you're seeing, how did she get 1/2 of 6 is 3? That's totally fine. The last part is we're subtracting. If we're at -4 and we go backwards 3 more, we're going to end up at -7. So this is our y-intercept, and if they asked us to write the equation of the line, this is the format we're looking for. So our equation for this line is the m is 1/2, and the b value that we just got was -7. And there we go. Let's try just one more. You're probably kind of getting the gist of it. And here we go. Let's see. Let's say that this time they're giving us the point of, I don't know, -8 and 1. And this time we know that the slope is 1/4. Again, you do tend to get slopes that are fractions, so don't freak out when you are doing them. If you are going to use a calculator like I just suggested, how do you type this in a calculator? You would type that as 1 divided by 4. Whenever you see a fraction bar, just think division. So here we go. We're looking for our b value so that we can write our equation, and it's y minus mx. The y value, we did not label them, so I probably should. The y value from above is 1. Bring down the subtraction. The slope that they gave us is 1/4, and the x value that we have labeled is -8. Alright, copying. Now I'm ready to multiply. If you take your calculator and do 1 divided by 4 times -8, you're going to get a -2 there. Another way to think of it is as a quarter. What is a quarter of a -8? And a quarter of -8 is -2. When we have 1 minus a -2, then minus and negative cancels out, and it just turns into a nice happy addition problem. 1 plus 2 just equals 3, so that's our b value. And if we had to write the equation of this line, it's y equals m times x plus b. There you go. Hope this helped.